Oh baby, harder.
Shut up.
Mike wanted me to remount his duckbill spoiler using bolts, so I'm making a template using painter's tape. I use my retractable blade to cut out both mounting holes in the tape. Now to trim the sides and front by carefully running my blade along the edges of the spoiler. With the tape trimmed down to shape, the next thing to do is to carefully peel it off and transfer it onto some paper. Now I just need to cut out the holes and trim the paper to match the front and side edges of the tape. I have the spoiler carefully positioned and have marked off the front corners. Before proceeding, make sure the template edges and holes still match up with the spoilers. I've swapped in my template, lined it up with the corner markings, and taped it down. Now I know exactly where to make the holes. Using my center punch, I'm going to make a small indentation in the middle of the hole so that my drill bit doesn't walk. Here's our indentation. Now to use a 3/16 drill bit to make the initial hole. I'm going to enlarge the hole to 5/16 using my step bit. Now to figure out where to make the bottom hole. This should be about right. Note that I'm lining up my hole with this marking here. You'll need to remove the hatch trim to be able to see it. I'll put a link to that guide in my video description below. With the pilot hole drilled, it's time to break out my big step bit. I need to make the hole large enough to fit the bolt head through and still have some wiggle room. It's double walled this far forward on the hatch. I'm just going to use my 3/16 drill bit to make another pilot hole. I can go back to using my big step bit to make both holes larger. Now to use the next size down to enlarge only the second hole. I'll put a link to all my step bits in the video description below. That should be big enough with enough wiggle room to compensate for the holes not being 100% lined up. Apply some primer and touch-up paint to the exposed edges of all the holes to prevent rusting. I recommend using a magnetized Phillips head screwdriver for this part. I've pushed the bolt up through the bottom, and now I need to line it up with the hole under the spoiler and then loosely screw it in. If you drop the bolt inside the hatch, just close the trunk so it falls down towards the back and retrieve it with a magnetic pickup tool through the openings normally hidden by the hatch trim. Once I had both bolts loosely threaded into the spoiler, I tightened them both down. The alignment looks perfect, and removing and reinstalling it in the future for any maintenance work will be a lot easier since you won't have to deal with any 3M tape. I hope this helps you out if you are looking to mount your duckbill spoiler more securely. If you haven't hit subscribe to my channel yet, please do so now, and as always, thank you for watching.